Gotta tell all the people that we're coming to you live from the PlayVS Cup.
Thank you for joining us. Do we have anybody joining us?
This is my favorite part of the stream.
When no one's in
Nobody's here yet.
It's just us. Nobody will know.
Yeah.
We can say whatever we want.
Gives us warm-up talking time.
So this is the best part because eventually like one or two people will show up and they'll be like, I like this. This is very casual.
Right?
So, but yeah, we're here. We're live. It's very exciting. This is, by the way, this is the field of 8. So it is really, really getting tight.
Feels like we need to have some catchy phrase for that hasn't already been used 2,000 times, but I can't.
Think of
Yeah.
something. Yeah, I don't know what we could call it. The Great 8.
I mean, this is definitely the elite part of the field.
Yeah, these are the top 8 teams in the country in high school Rocket League. I mean, I just think it's interesting we went from 3 SSLs to 4 SSLs. Does that mean the final will be 6 SSLs?
I could see it.
I mean, that is
Certainly looks like it's trending that way.
That would be like watching a legitimate RLCS match. I mean, that's the stat I want to know. How many people truly are SSL in the percentage? You know, like Grand Champion League is like the top 0.5% or something. Like, how many SSLs are there out there?
You know what? Let's do a quick lookup. Why not? So let's look it up.
Someone's using the Google. Big brain.
Gotta know our facts if we're gonna be streaming this stuff. Maybe a caster without knowing a thing or two.
Welcome, Coach. Coach Patty has made it.
Yay.
Thanks for letting us piggyback on your stream. This is super exciting. NC is in the house. Welcome as well, and best of luck to you. Best of luck to Shrewsbury. We are very excited. Oh, do you have a number for us?
Yeah, there are only 1,600 Supersonic Legends as of last season.
That is insane.
0.02% of the entire player base is SSL.
And we will have watched 4 of them, which is pretty crazy. So that's amazing. I mean, so many. There was a day I queued up, and I think there was over 1 million people in queue one time. And so like, there's so many people that play this game, and there's only 1,600 people at the absolute top of the ladder. So it tells you something about the talent that is rolling around in this PlayVS Cup.
The amount of commitment that these players have. There's no way that you can get that high on just playing the game casually. And the fact that they're doing it in high school is just purely impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also too, they're frequently not just in 1s or 2s or 3. I mean, they're in multiple categories of, and you guys know how the different style of play is from a 1v1 to a 3v3 is just, it's way different.
Oh yeah, that's right. Several of these players are across the board, or they're grand champ in something in SSL, and you can be great in 1, but the mechanics don't transfer over necessarily, especially if you're an SSL or a grand champ in 1s. It's a very different game than playing 3s or 2s.
Right.
Yeah, in the last game we watched with Jonathan, one of his shots, I remember it so distinctly, was the flick that he had.
Mm-hmm.
That made me think that he has to at least be SSL in 1s.
Yeah.
The way that he was able to manipulate the ball on the ground, get it around anyone that he wanted to, just felt like he knew exactly what he was doing in a 1v1 situation.
Yeah, the ground play, I mean, we talked about that in that game. It was, pre-game we were wondering, like, oh man, there's so many SSLs. There's 3. Is this going to be just, a tactical display of aerials and, resets and off the ceilings? And in fact, it was the ground game. The ground game is what broke those players through. Like you said, those 1v1 skills, the dribbles, the fakes, and with 4 SSLs on the board and grand champs, it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out.
Right. Yeah, it is.
There's no longer that huge skill deficit that there was in the last match. The biggest deficit is probably going to be between their third players. One that's possibly Diamond, the other one that is Grand Champ 2.
Yeah, which
That
is
we're
also,
probably going to be.
no small feat in and of themselves either.
Yeah, and we were
Oh,
talking about this earlier too on the. I know I find it interesting is that we're dealing with a team from Pennsylvania in the North Catholic who won their Eastern regional champs, and Shrewsbury in Massachusetts is state champs, undefeated state champs. So be interesting to see how that kind of plays out, and if that's just a grouping thing or if that's an intentional thing.
That is interesting, especially since I think there are 500 teams in that regional division.
Yeah, I
So
think that Coach McKinstry put down that there was 500. I might be dyslexic, 16 or 61, something like that, in the Eastern Regional. It was crazy.
yeah, so a huge playing field in that regional, and then playing against the best in the state, right? So you have kind of two different dynamics happening here, a huge player base, and then you have a very finite player base. But what's interesting to see is that the talent is in both areas. Um, we've got teams with two SSLs that are the top of their game competing against each other in this, and on paper they're pretty similar regardless of how they got to this point. And that's what's going to be, I mean, this is just the final, the Elite Eight like we were talking about, which means there's 6 other teams at this level competing in this tournament right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Also
And
interesting to see if the game fatigue if that matters. I mean, we're playing every day at this point, right?
And multiple games today for sure, for at least pretty sure both of these teams. I mean, we were watching North Catholic earlier. They only got about 2.5 hours of downtime.
How many games did that go?
Went to 6,
Okay,
and
wow.
and they
just
took
after
the
the sixth
first
game,
3.
you could see different changes in play style, and you can tell that time was taking its effect, whether it was a good effect or a bad effect. That's who knows. But these are two teams that both have the track record to show that they know what they're doing, and
Right.
the skills to back it up, probably.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Well, I mean, so yeah, the state championships, right, go every day to get there. Then the regionals do the same thing, right? So it's not like these two teams haven't done this before.
right. They've had a a day after day bracket situation to get to that championship. Now, I don't quite know how the regionals were run to get that regional championship, but you're also, you have to remember that these teams have gone through this system before, not just in game time, but in what's on the line, right? So they've already run through the ringer on we're trying to get a number 1 spot, and they did that. And then they had to reset for a whole new tournament to start, at the bottom, so to speak, and work their way back up. So they've been in this position before where there's only potentially 2 more rounds left.
Right.
Um, and hopefully they can pull from that experience in the past to say, like, we are tired, we've played a lot of games, we are mentally beat, but we still know there's several more games to go.
Right.
Rocket League is definitely a draining sport after you play it for a few hours, especially if you're playing it every single day.
Oh yeah.
Helps the mechanics, but you definitely you start feeling that mental fatigue and you start to fall apart. You start doing things that you shouldn't really do. You kind of get into like autopilot mode where you're not really thinking, you're just kind of doing, and that can be good or bad. It's up to your muscle memory and how you play the game.
Yeah, sometimes you go into autopilot and you're not thinking in a good way. You're not hesitating. You're just reacting. Sometimes that turns you into tunnel vision and you get sloppy and you get slow. You make mistakes. You're delayed. I wonder if in that last series that we saw, that kind of happened when the Bulldogs, who ended up losing that series, but they flipped a switch after that game 3 and became a whole different team. It was almost like they went from autopilot to turning it on.
Hmm.
And we talked about how some of that is that stress of like, oh no, this is real. Like, we can lose a game, that's okay. We can lose 2 games, that's not great, but it's still okay. Once you lose that 3rd game in a game of 7, you don't have any more it's okay moments. It's just
Yeah.
you have to win. and
That's
they
their last chance.
completely changed their play style, and it caught the Trojans kind of on their heels for 2 games in a row. And
Which
you
is
could.
fascinating because this is a team with 2 seniors on it,
Mhm.
and school is, if it's not over, it's going to be over soon. And they're both going to college, but there's some emotion there. You want to leave your cleats everything out on the field. You don't want to go to college with saying, oh geez, that last game I really should have played better.
Yeah, and both
So
teams.
that might have been part of that too.
Oh, for the Trojans for sure, with the 2 seniors
Yeah,
on their team. Yeah, all of
yeah,
a sudden it's like, whoa, 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 we had this in the bag. All we needed was one more game, and we
right.
gave it away, and then we gave it away again. Like, wait, 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 wait. And the thing is you only have like a minute between games in Rocket League, so
Yeah.
it's not like you get 20 minutes, 15 minutes to say, let's watch that replay. Where did we go wrong? You have to flip on the fly and immediately turn around and say, all right, pretty sure we did this a little wrong. Let's clean it up, and the game is starting. Like, that's all you get.
It feels like
Yeah,
it's
and
sometimes more of a marathon than a sprint. And the biggest concern that I usually have in these things is tilt. As soon as someone starts getting tilted on your team, it usually spreads to the rest. And that just tears the team apart, especially in these longer running matches. If you
it,
start pushing the 7 game side of the series, that's when things really can fall apart, especially with all the demos that happen at this higher level.
Yeah, those demos are so frustrating. Getting them feels great, but when you get demoed, especially if you get demoed in goal and it leads to a goal, it's just so frustrating um, to deal with that and to be okay with it. Um,
and it can be weird as a player too, because you're so focused on the game, you've rotated into the net, and you're sitting there, and it's like out of nowhere, and kaboom, and you're like, and now there's nobody in net. Okay, so we've got some players wondering what's going on.
I'm not sure, but we are
We
we are
should
good
be
to go.
rolling.
If you're watching players, you can go ahead and stack up in your teams. I know sometimes they watch as they play, which just blows my mind.
Right.
I'd be
But
saving all that bandwidth for the game.
I know. There we go. All right, so
Now we've got Luster and Trevor coming on. I see at 1 second coming in, and MK2. That's a mouthful. MK2's coming in, and we're starting.
we are in game 1 of 7 of this Elite 8. Jonathan sends this one over to the side for the Trojans, and we've got our first demo of the game. Messi takes out Trevor. Messi now coming around the corner, trying to get a pass early pass to get this out of here and clear as it's stolen in the air. Completely ricocheted off as Trevor is going into the corner to pick up that boost and move to the side wall or the back wall for a defensive play. Nice kind of stoppage there, but the drive continues as some deflections happening in front of the goal. As Jonathan is there to try to get something in, and they can't. Luster now passing to Sky. Sky moving into the middle at 1 second with a nice deflection off the roof. Jonathan puts it back into the center. Trevor in the corner now trying to make a little bit of an aggressive play here, but it's not going to pay off as Luster's not able to get there in time, and Messi is able to get the first goal at the just under a minute mark.
I'm betting that he was shocked he had that clear of a net sitting there in front of him.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of traffic on the Shrewsbury side earlier, and they couldn't land fast enough to get back to defend off that drive as Jonathan just sails through the air there. Good control of the car. In the corner now, we've got Trevor up on the wall on the drive here, flipping the air, rotating, and stolen by the Trojans. And that ball is going to deflect in from Sky, and Sky's going to tie this one up.
That's an equalizer.
I was going to say, I thought this was looking like it was going to be the same setup as the first game of the last series, where it was just one goal right in the beginning, and the other team just has to scrape by trying to fight to get that position back. But it looks like they equalized it pretty quick.
Yeah, and Sky was positioned well in the air for that. So not just sitting in the front of the key waiting for a pass, but almost reading the possibilities of what could happen there and was able to pop that one in. So we got a couple shots on goal here as Trevor's trying to get this ball out, picking up that 100 boost pad. Sky with the back flip, half flip to clear. Trevor taking that demo. Messi rolling around the corner, but stolen by Luster. That's going to leave an almost open goal. No one's there to pick it up. They almost got that deflection back into the center again. Sky on defense. Jonathan coming around the side. No one's there to pick it up. Almost a great dribble play. It was a great dribble play. It was almost a goal. Let me rephrase that. As we got shot on goal, sitting in the middle, and Jonathan is not. Oh, he is able to get it in time with an incredibly slow bounce. Look at this challenge from Jonathan, able to get back, turn around.
Just caught Sky a little awkward. Just couldn't get back to it fast enough.
Yeah, that was that slow bounce in front of the goal. It's hard to get back there and knock it out without getting a deflection.
And that just feels tragic as a player, too. You know it's there. You know you've got to clear it. You don't know if anybody's going to come flying in on you, but you just know that you've got to hurry, 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 hurry. And unfortunately for that one, his senses about this ball is about to come into the net were correct, probably.
Yeah. Demos.
Demos all over, but you can tell Jonathan he trusts his team a lot because you can see him being very comfortable and sitting up on the upper end of the field, getting ready to clean up any missed shot or any good pass or anything like that.
Yeah,
He usually tends to follow it up into the corner, and he just sticks up there, and he does not rotate, and it tends to work out pretty good in his favor.
Yeah, the rotations have been really good in this game and incredibly fast, and we talked about that in the last game. This game feels incredibly quick, and so many demos. You know, the boost management here seems to be really, really well done for both teams. But we're just getting a ton of speed as now Trevor is up in the air off the corner and fakes out, tries to rotate out maybe to get a better position here, sending the ball into the center, but all the way from the back is Jonathan sending this thing flying at 1 second. It's going to push a slow little pass into the center. It's picked up by Sky. Now we're back on the Trojan side of the field on defense. But like you said, Jonathan's not afraid to play up and is able to catch that ball. And, ooh, Jonathan bumped out of position, almost opening up an attack as Messi with the bat deflect, and unfortunately that is going to get a goal for Sky.
He just pushes this, gives it a little nudge, and it's just enough to get it around, and he puts it in a spot in goal. Hard to get to.
Yeah, that's...
Every time the Trojans score, Shrewsbury's quick to counter. It's going to be a very close game, I can tell.
Yeah, they have no fear of getting one back on board. As a rocket from Trevor, blocked by Jonathan. Luster here coming in, but blocked by Messi. Trevor up in the air. It's going to be, if Jonathan can get back there, they can have a 2v defense as Jonathan on the top bar. At 1 second is in the goal, back and forth, just waiting for a shot to come in to block as we got Sky coming in. Blocked. Oh, Luster. Oh, great defense by at 1 second, able to backflip that ball out of position. With the 1 minute mark in a rocket on goal, Sky blocks that one. With 1 minute left, I mean, what are your predictions here? I mean, it's going everywhere.
So hard to tell, they're so closely matched.
I think we're gonna go to overtime.
Think so?
That's my guess. That's my. But oh man, some of these centers are so. I just keep waiting for somebody to fly in, and you know, this is the time where your teams are just finding what each other does, what adjustments you need to make, and learning who your opponent is.
Yeah, and they've been doing a great job, both teams, of being in the right place, getting back on defense too, and trapping these. I mean, the high skill ceiling here in Rocket League, you know, these teams are there. Sky is there to deflect this ball back. Lots of power shots coming in, and just able to get there and defend. As 15 seconds in, Luster is up in the air, dribbling, trying to get one off the backboard into a passing situation, but is once again blocked by this Trojan defense as a ball goes almost in. And I think you might be right. We are going to go to overtime in this first game.
All right, nerves. Let's see how they play here.
Off the kickoff, 2-2 in game one. Let's see. Oh, all three of the Shrewsbury CEOs are in goal, trying to block that one. They know it's on the line. That first game is so important to try and get out ahead. As Sky sends a ball into the goal.
Oh, couldn't get there fast enough. I mean,
those are the most stressful situations when either team could make the biggest game-changing move there.
Right.
Because it usually turns into a triple commit by the attacking team, but the defending team is just struggling to try to get it out. If they can get it out, it's usually a beautiful chance for a goal because no one's back on defense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, all three players then just go, all right, just go as fast as you can to get that ball through there. But great game all around, very fast. What are your takes on this?
Well, I mean, you're right. There have been some odd things that I've seen, that like a couple of spaces where they're bunching up a little bit. I'm surprised to see some kind of close double commits here and there. But both teams look like they're playing really well. They're both playing, I mean, back and forth. We've got some boomers going on. Obviously, we've got the demos happening. But, I mean, a lot of times, I mean, there have been a couple in this game where I'm like, yeah, that was intentional. But a lot of times they're just accidental. Not seeing that yet. But I am surprised at how quickly they got back into this game.
Watching all the players, it's really hard to tell at a moment's glance who is the lowest ranked on the team. Each of them pulls their own weight. You can tell that they all know how to play with each other. Each one kind of knows what they're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
Like
as we get a shot on goal from Messi.
That was absolutely beautiful. Just like what I'm talking about there, Atwood second, he is technically the lowest ranked in the lobby, but the fact that he trusted his teammates so well right there and just rushed right in for the bump led to a perfect goal.
The bump and the corner pass, I mean, that's such a good play, the cross, right? But it's one thing to cross to a teammate that might be in the middle. It's another thing to cross to yourself and be able to get up into position and slam that ball in. So amazing play by Messi. And once again, early on in the game, we have a goal on the board for North Catholic. So we might see the same thing back and forth, this ping pong scoreboard, as Messi drops this ball into the corner, but it's not far enough out as Trevor comes in and tries to redirect. What a great attempt from Trevor. But Sky is there to clean it up, and Jonathan knocks it out, and we've got a very effective and powerful offense from Shrewsbury as Sky gets a point on the board. Just that relentless onslaught.
And Sky is committed here, right, and just jumped in on that. Saw that come up over the top and said, "Oh, please let me get there, put this down," and did so. That was pretty.
And you know, I'm gonna geek out on the skill for a second because I can't do that stuff, but. Sky was going to right side, ball side.
Yeah.
Went past ball, rotated, turned around, and went towards, went into the ball to score that goal. So just the control, you know, we'll keep seeing that. The control that these players have is just unbelievable. And like we said, top 1,600 in the whole entire Rocket League sphere. So 1-1 tie, 3.5 minutes left. A lot of action going on now on the Shrewsbury side as Trevor corrects me and sends it over into the Trojan side. Lester sending this ball across. Jonathan on the top bar for that defense. Sky with the attempted steal sends it all the way to the other side. Messi over here trying to challenge with Trevor. Trevor brings it down to the ground. Sky picks it up, puts it into the corner. Lester is going to follow that ball and try and pass across. It's a slow pass. It's to Sky, but there's a Trojan car there to block. As Messi is yet again on the corner with that boom. That could be a very good boom as Jonathan comes in a little too high off the top bar, but can they get the pass? It's knocked out of the way by Shrewsbury as Lester is in on a 1v1, but at 1 second is there just in time, appropriate name. And Messi's going to carry this one back up. So we are still seeing another back and forth. Just it's a lot of midfield fighting going on, battling going on.
And you can see whenever one of these players knocks it into the corner, they tend to follow it up on, at least from the Trojan side, they tend to follow it up with an attempted bump and goal. It's worked once so far, so, you know, why not try it again?
Yeah, as we see here, you know, now the pressure is on Shrewsbury as they're just getting pummeled by this North Catholic team, just going back and forth to try and get something on goals, picking up those boost pads to deny it from the defense. They weren't able to break through that wall. Jonathan trying out those dribble skills and not able to fake out. Good attempt and a really good try there from Jonathan, but blocked once again by the Shrewsbury defense, which is just really, really good. Able to read these plays too. So that's that 1v1 that we were talking about early game. Getting good in 1v1 is so good on these breakaways.
And you can tell when things start turning around, it tends to be because of boost starving. You can see one side start taking all the corner boosts, and then the defending side has nothing to start saving it with. starts putting a lot of pressure on the defense, and they start having real problems trying to save the ball. Especially when it goes up in the air, the team that is attacking, they have all the boost, and they can go up for it all day.
Yeah, as we just saw that, which Messi with the great bump in air, instead of going for the ball, well, instead of hitting the ball, Messi was able to hit the player, which if you think about it, that's incredibly important in this level of play. The ball is important, but getting the player out of position can actually save you a goal on that rebound. As Leicester sends one into the corner for the cross off the tires, try and get this thing into a passing play. Sky brings it back up. Jonathan's going to clear this one, and that's going to put the last minute starting off in Trojan territory now with a great clear. At 1 second with the clear. Now on the corner, picked up. Oh, sitting all the way to the other side. Trevor is able to get there barely. That's going to be Messi and Messi's favorite spot in the corner. Ball is dropping down with 30 seconds left. You know that these teams want to make this happen. They don't want to go to overtime again. They want to shut this thing down. And we might go to overtime again.
Yeah, these marathons are tough, but they're even harder if each game goes into overtime.
Get 15 seconds down. All three Trojans are in the air, which could put them out of position. If Trevor can get a redirect off of this one with just 5 seconds left, he might be able to make something happen. Sky is going to try and keep this one in the air and dribble up, and it's blocked by Jonathan with a last-second save, but it's not over yet. It doesn't stop until the ball hits the ground, and is that going to... No. Almost a complete turnaround. We are still on the ground. There we go. Overtime. Whew.
Oh, jeez.
2 almost goals at the last second there. Whew. These kids are so good. So up in the air, Leicester and Trevor trying to get this ball, which is now deep in Shrewsbury territory. Sudden death overtime. You know that North Catholic wants to take this one, and Shrewsbury is trying to get another win in this series.
Yeah, they want to put a green bar over there on that blue side.
Yeah, it'll just help with them. They know they can put the goals up. They just want that confidence of getting that green bar, knowing that it's not completely on the line. As we get it back and forth, and a block from Messi, and that's not going to be able to do it. As Sky picks it up in the mid.
He just kept on hammering shots home, and that was just an unlucky save. Went right to the corner, right back out mid for him.
Yeah, the ball just died. So game 2 goes to Shrewsbury. Congratulations, good job. Best of 7 though, as we saw in the last matchup. We saw the Bulldogs make a rounding comeback after game 3. So anything can happen. These have been really close games, 2 overtimes. You know, game 2, any difference in game 2 versus what we saw in game 1 from that one?
Well, to me, they started playing a little bit freer. They started passing a little bit more efficiently. I wish North Catholic would watch those commits, because when you do that, you leave a huge part of the field unwatched. So this game right here should be interesting to see if North Catholic can get even this up.
Seeing a lot of missed opportunities for passes in some of these plays, and I don't think it's because they aren't taking the passes or aren't actually being able to connect the passes. I think it's just because we're at the point where each team can just read where these passes could go, and they're shutting them down before they can even happen.
Yeah, and that's on both sides. I mean, both teams are able to do these reads. You see it in the shots on goal, as we get one right here on the top bar, as Jonathan makes an attempt, and at 1 second is the back to bring this one back on, but Leicester is in the air to keep that drive. And I mean, that's what we're talking about, is it looks like they're out of position, but they're just coming in from off the screen exactly where they need to be to make these saves, or to block these passes.
Yeah, this guy is loving that setup in the middle. he's just sitting there. Looks like he's just waiting on every ball. Almost got that last one.
Yeah, and it's an important part. It's an important place to be, especially in what we've been seeing in these 2 games, where the defensive blocks aren't very powerful. They're dropping right there, and if you can clean that up off of that rebound, off the top bar, or off of a slow block, then you can be there to pick it up. Now, what I think we need to see out of North Catholic is better defensive blocks that go left and right. So we just saw that block that went to the side, which shuts down that mid. So if they can get a handle on that, they can, maybe turn the tides of this one and get a goal, and then keep that goal from happening. But we're at the almost 3-minute mark left, and we haven't seen a goal yet. So maybe that fatigue of all-day play is coming in, or we just have two incredibly evenly matched teams.
And we're seeing a ton of these aerial challenges that just go 50-50 and they pinch out either just perfectly to the side or straight up and down. Those ones are hard to capitalize on, especially because it's usually the second man that commits to those, which means that there's only one man left, and if that person pushes, it's just an open goal. A pinch like that, though, is that just okay? That's what you're looking for when you're doing a challenge, is you're trying to get it past the other person or get it to one of your teammates. You're trying to not kill it like that one right there.
Yeah, as we got a shot on, but Trevor is there to pick it up the wall, looking for an aerial here. But once again, read completely from the other side of the corner is Messi to block that challenge. And Messi picks up that ball and drops it to a no longer Jonathan as Trevor takes a timely demo. Sky up along the wall. Jonathan respawns in a great spot to block that. 1 second in the goal to stop this, and goes up the sidewall. Is anyone there to pick this up? Sky is there. Sky's going to send the ball to the sidewall, looking for a pass. And once again, Trevor just sends it back over. So a lot of slow floating clears as we get a ball and a great attempt from Lester off of the top bar. Messi's going to pick this one up in the center. Maybe try and pull this one into the corner to try and cross. A huge bump to keep this ball in play, but Sky is there to block it. So we'll have to see if this attack can keep going, if they can maybe starve that boost to keep this alive. We've seen a lot of goals off of just hammering through the defense and starving that boost so the defense can't get up to stop these plays. And I mean, this is 1.5 minutes left. I mean, there's no reason this game doesn't go to overtime.
I agree. Each game seems like it's just going to keep on pushing in. Everyone seems to equalize whenever there's a chance to. It's hard for one team to take the lead over the other.
Ooh. It's a great read by both at 1 second and Jonathan to be there. All three players on all these teams have had huge plays, equal time across the board being there. At the 1 minute mark, a double commit, just like you were talking about earlier, and that's going to leave almost an open goal chance, but no one was there to pick that up. Could have been a missed opportunity for the Trojans. The ball drops down. Jonathan comes in swinging with a zinger from the midfield.
As soon as one of those passes gets through and doesn't get shut down, it's a beautiful shot, and then it comes down to just trying to save it. But unfortunately, both of them went to try to block the pass, and then they missed the shot.
Great.
And Jonathan is actually Ian in real life. He is one of their SSLs, and he is going to Shenandoah University next fall. So motivated.
Yeah, he wants to go to school with a plaque, trophy, and some serious bragging rights.
Right.
So that's going to put 30 seconds on the board for Shrewsbury. Now, they've responded before. The question is, can they do it again to get that game 3, or is this one just going to keep going as Jonathan is up in the air with a very nice flip in midair, maybe trying to get the wheels in position to stall this ball or to get a reset going there. It's 13 seconds since the clock. Anything's possible. We've seen 1 second last for 15 seconds in the air. It's at 1 second, trying to get a good clear out of here to bring it down onto the ground as the 1 second mark hits, and a great stall by Jonathan, but it brings it into the goal anyway.
He locked it in just to be safe, but at that point, if you're on the Shrewsbury side, what have you got to lose? You might as well commit, but unfortunately it didn't pay off.
Wow.
I did not think that was going to get in.
I thought that beat the timer by a millisecond.
So North Catholic, you can't call it a reverse sweep, can you? It's not that far gone yet. So now it's we're back to a 2-1 deal, and it's interesting to me how quickly because they have 48 seconds, right? 45 right now. How quickly do they get back, and hit that check mark and say, yeah, I'm ready to go. And the first game, those green check marks came up fast.
Yeah,
but as games go on, it's interesting to watch, does a player say, I need a second?
Yeah, just get up and walk around a little bit.
Yeah, like Jonathan there took his time, and I think I'd be fine with that as a coach. Take all the time you need.
Yeah, I mean,
Biggest thing is just get a drink of water, stay hydrated.
Right?
Yeah.
Get water to your brain, helps improve your reaction time, makes you play better.
And maybe breathe for the first time in 5 minutes.
Yeah. You hold your breath, and then after a while, you just realize, oh wait, I should probably be actually like taking care of my body right now.
Yeah, I mean, the high stress situations, mental game for sure, trying to be everywhere at the same time, but not all bunched up on your teammates, is our game 4 begins. Sky is up in the air, sending this one into Trojans territory at 1 second, challenged by Trevor, but knocked out by Jonathan. So the follow-ups have just been so clutch. They've always been, both these teams are able to rotate back into the spot to follow up on a challenge. Which if you're reading that and noticing that, that's kind of what's been keeping these games so low, is no one's able to get a breakaway. As we get a shot on goal at 1 second in goal, knocks this one off to the side. Our demo of the game, first demo of the game today, Sky sends a soft shot over to the side. Jonathan picks up that 100 boost pad, flips around, tries to get one right into the front of the goal, and it's just off. And at 1 second, is not there, able to pick it up. Lester takes out Messi. Trevor over the top of Sky, and Jonathan over the top of Jonathan, and Trevor is able to get a goal off of that.
That's unfortunate. It looked like one of the teammates on the Trojan side, it looks like they went in for the challenge, missed, and Jonathan didn't know what happened, so he couldn't react in time, and he ended up just putting it in on accident.
Yeah, I think the only way they could have stalled that was to jump just a fraction before, but it would have just killed the ball, and it would have been a dead ball in the front of the goal, so not a lot you can do on that one. And that puts a goal on the board for Shrewsbury, and once again, that's going to put the pressure on Trojans to equalize and then get ahead of this one. As Jonathan challenges Trevor, and Sky picks that one up and puts it into the corner, but it's missed by Trevor at 1 second, sends this one downfield in the Dominus, and we've got the ball back in the corner. So game 4, back and forth yet again. Any observations on this one? I mean, it's just...
Oh my god.
Very uncomfortable situation right there, but what I want to see more of is backboard passes into the corner and stuff. Because I'm not seeing a lot of people always on the backboards, but that's just because none of these passes are coming through.
Guys, we got a shot on goal from Messi.
Never mind. They answered my question. All right.
But I think
They
what
must be listening to the stream.
what you don't see though is that backboard defense. So that was one of the rare times I think that that Shrewsbury wasn't keeping someone back in goal or on the crossbar, and it left it wide open, which is very. Getting a shot on goal. Trevor up there to block this one away. As the equalizing goal comes in with 3 minutes left to go, Messi going up against Lester, a demo in the middle, and that's going to open up a lot of action for this. Oh, a great pass, but not able to connect from Messi, but at 1 second is there to try again as Jonathan comes in from midfield, challenged by Lester. Lester gets the better of that one. Messi up in the air to pass this one out, trying to go over Trevor, and Trevor stalls that ball with a great break as we're once again back on the side of the Trojans on defense with a nice flick. And up in the air, Trevor, Sky, back and forth, rotating on this two-style offense, but wow, what a great save from Jonathan as that ball was headed straight into the top corner.
And you can see all these players on the Shrewsbury side there. Whenever they take a shot, they go and they take the corner boost. They're trying to get that pressure up so that way they can start boost starving this blue team. They just want to start making those uncomfortable situations where they can't make the saves.
Yeah, being on that defense, if you don't have boosts, you can block almost any shot with 12 boost. But if all those pads are gone, you have to start going further and further out to get it. What an amazing bump. But I think it was the
Messi
wrong bump. Oh, it was, yeah, Messi with the shot, but a timely
with the
bump from Jonathan to take out the defense. That is play of the series.
Just clearing those openings, that's how things happen.
Yeah, I mean, that was a 1v1 situation and, basically a penalty kick, and Jonathan just took the goalie out of the game completely. So Jonathan off the wall, trying to get something else in here to get an equalizing goal, excuse me, a security goal.
You can tell he's been looking for that most of this game. He finally found it.
Yeah.
beat two of them that were in uncomfortable positions, and he was able to capitalize on it. If he had shot it straight in, I think that it would have been saved, but because he played it off the backboard, he was able to put it in.
Yeah, and I think you're right. We have seen Jonathan try at that off-the-wall aerial with that, mid-air flick, kind of like a musty kind of thing in the middle of the air to kind of get that little bit of power, that power flick shot, and finally getting that one to connect. As 2 goals up now, the Trojans in this game 4, which feels pretty good, as I don't know how many times we've had a 2-goal difference in this series. I don't think we
Definitely
have.
not often.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if we have, actually.
So that's going to put a whole lot of pressure on Shrewsbury in this last minute of play as the ball goes softly onto the sidewall, not able to get just a little bit further. So Trevor demoed from Jonathan as Messi comes to take that one as well. Great positioning, but the challenge by Leicester stops that drive. With 39 seconds left to go, Jonathan's up in the air, challenged by Sky. Now they're just trying to keep the pressure on, but Jonathan there
Wow.
for the
Jonathan
pickup.
is there. He's there to clean up every time. He's always ready. He always plays up. He trusts his teammates.
Yeah, good position, good field awareness as well. Just knowing where your teammate is. You can't see everything, right?
And the comms sound so much more for North Catholic right now. They sound so much more confident.
Yeah, with 30 seconds left to go, and a
There's
bouncer
one of those
from
backboard
Sky.
passes.
Yep.
That's what I'm looking for. If you can start putting those in, that no one's on the backboard right now. It's perfect.
And this is the kind of shot that Sky loves.
Yeah, we saw that early on for sure. Sky hangs out on those top corner pads, waiting for that deflection, and was able to get it on that one. So that security, it's still there, but they know that they can respond in 7 seconds, so it's kind of scary. Leicester sends this one to the side. Trevor up on the side wall. This is a good position to be to get a goal, as there's only Messi there, and Messi does make the connection. Lots of traffic in the midfield. Sky coming on, cleared out by Jonathan, and that's going to drop this ball down and bring us to 2-2 on the series. We have
2-2.
ourselves a series.
It's like the
Wow.
goals they equalize in games as well.
Yeah. Back to back to
And
back to back.
you can see in these last 30 seconds, whichever team is up, their entire goal is just to challenge everything and just try to make sure that the ball doesn't go towards their net. Just trying to keep it from being equalized, to keep it from going overtime.
And what's funny too about with the SSLs and just kind of that upper level is in games you frequently see awkward. That's that awkward defensive motion where they can't get to the ball. And just when you watch SSLs, it's like you just don't see awkward very much. They somehow recover and get back out to it. It's just amazing to watch.
I did see a few awkward moments, but it's just when the ball gets hit right to you when you're in a weird spot and it kind of bounces in a place that you don't know how to handle it.
Right.
It's just uncomfortable, just barely uncomfortable.
And here's Jonathan again, just kind of taking his time a little bit. And you wonder whether he's spending time on the comms, talking to his teammates about, let's just kind of take our time a little bit, because everybody else was flying into being ready.
Sometimes you just got to take that breather,
Yeah.
recollect, just take a moment for yourself,
Yeah, I mean these games have been push-ups complete.
5 of 7.
So, I mean, these games have been really intense and fast. So, I can imagine needing that time afterwards to shake your hands, just close your eyes for a minute, reposition your mind, and get back into starting mode at 0-0. You're no longer up. You're not up by 2 anymore. You're not up by 3 anymore. You're equal. As Leicester comes in off the backboard, bouncing back and forth with Trevor, trying to get this ball out of the CEO's territory. And in comes Messi, and in comes Jonathan.
And there he is cleaning up again.
Yep.
Just look at this, circling back around with that positioning. And also, if you see in that replay, at 1 second is curling right behind Jonathan as well. So if there was a stop or there was a deflection, at 1 second was there to clean it up too. So the speed on the rotations for these teams is just incredibly impressive and just there. That's why we're seeing these low-scoring games. Is the defense is rotating well, the offense is rotating well.
So I've seen this a couple times so far. People go for flip resets here. And I don't know how much of a fan I am of that, because while, it is stylish, while it is at the same time, if you can pull it off, it can be one of the most... It can just really get inside the heads of the other people because they don't know how to read that, because you have a flip that you can use whenever you want. But the problem is that when you're getting the flip, you have so much time that you're open, a window where you can't do anything, and that they can just come up and challenge it and take the ball away, no problem. So it's a very risky play, and I don't know how much I enjoy watching them, or how much I would advise them doing it.
Well, and that, tactically, you want that extra flip, right, if you can get it. But the problem is you might slow down your momentum by putting your wheels on the ball, being a little bit out of position. And again, just like the game before, we haven't seen a lot of flashy plays. We have, but this isn't a freestyle game. This is a very tactical, professional even game where the goal is to get the ball to your opponent, or to get the ball away from your opponent and get it into your teammates and make a good pass and pick up those rebounds. That's not the GYG replay you want, but it is the thing that wins games.
Absolutely, and it's interesting to see in most recent years, all these what would have once been freestyling, they've kind of become the meta, like backboard rebounds. We saw Jonathan, we saw him go for a couple of this series. He scored 1 or 2. That used to be a freestyling thing, but now he's pulling it off, and it is the reason why he scored.
Yeah, it's becoming just a mechanic within the game because it is.
Oof. That was a close shot.
Yeah, and as you can pull that mechanic off, it becomes so much harder to challenge. But it's, equating this to skateboarding, the kickflip used to be the coolest trick on the block, and now people just do it just casually. So, we're starting to see in high-level play these just incredibly difficult things that become commonplace. As we hit the 2-minute mark, Trojans are still up by 1. Another very close game early on, as Sky is there to get this one out of the way, as we almost had an open goal situation, trying to get that security goal from the Trojans, trying to take a point lead in this series, as At 1 Second gets a nice little breakaway here to defend against, with Jonathan clearing that one out. Messi sending it all the way to the side. Jonathan's there in position, and that's going to be a security goal from Jonathan.
Is it just me, or is Shrewsbury look like they're playing a little bit back on their heels?
I think they might be panicking a little. They're feeling the pressure. I can see them start going for things. They're trying to go for challenges faster, which causes them to hit it in a direction that they're not exactly intending to hit it. And that starts causing problems on their side, especially on defense.
Yeah, it's almost a just touch the ball rather than strategically position. As Messi gets a demo off of Luster, that's going to open up a little 5-second window of a 3v2. As Messi over to the side, sending this one. Trevor traps it very nicely, puts it into the corner. Jonathan is there to block, but Sky is there to pick it up, and At 1 Second blocks that goal attempt. Sky here on the defense with a nice little turnaround, but At 1 Second redirects this back into an attack. Jonathan versus Trevor. Neither team gets the better of that one, but the shot is on goal, and Sky blocks it very well. Sky is great on offense and great on defense as well. Seems to be everywhere the ball is. As Lester comes in.
As I was talking about earlier, At 1 Second, he may be the lowest ranked on the field, but it's so hard to see his diamond colors here. He's playing way faster than you've ever seen a diamond play.
Actually, I have Sky as an SSL. Our lowest is At 1 Second. He's the diamond.
Yeah. Did I say Sky?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean At 1 Second, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, At 1 Second,
it's hard to tell.
I don't want Sky's parents to call you about angry. Oh! That's Sky's favorite shot, right?
Right? That's what
right
Sky
there.
looks
clean those up.
I mean, that is like bread and butter textbook style. Get the ball in the middle. Get the ball in the middle, right? Like, get it to the guy at the free throw line, right? And that's what they did. And when they can get that ball there, Sky is there to put it in the goal.
A nice shot.
Oh,
what a beautiful save.
Yeah, redirect that.
He had so little time to react, and he was still able to put it out.
As we see 15 seconds down. Ooh, off the top bar. Jonathan's going to try and dunk this, but can't get there. Oh, but Messi cleans it up. Messi, a.k.a. Sky. Both. Actually, both of them are really good at reading that middle play.
They know how to read it off the back and off the ceiling.
So
and
there
that's
you go.
so hard to defend, right?
Oh yeah. Incredibly difficult.
Shrewsbury's finally got a foothold in the wall, and then The Trojans just came along, kicked their foot off, and said, "No, we're having this one."
Yeah, that's gonna boom us. I don't know why I even attempted to assume that the game is going to end.
You got to give it a couple seconds.
I know. We need
These guys are going to try to keep it up in play. And for those of you who are new to the scene,
because of that.
Beautiful shot. Barely off the ground.
Doesn't matter when you score. Sometimes
game
it's
doesn't
just how
end
you
until
score.
the ball touches the turf. So as long as they keep it up off,
And
game
that is
keeps
the
going.
first rule of Rocket League: is do not let the ball hit the ground at 0 seconds.
First rule.
It's
Not
got
to be confused with rule number 1, though.
So North Catholic.
worst rule ever.
Woo!
So there you go. I mean, it's coming. I mean, coming back around. They were down 2 games at the beginning, and now they are up a game. And how the turntables have turned, as they say.
Am I reading the chat right? Where so push-ups are going on? Is that why Jonathan is not rejoining us quickly? Is that what's happening? Push-ups are happening in between
I
games.
think so. Yep. Push-ups. Push-ups are happening.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I completely respect that. Push-ups. Good for the
Oh,
mind and body.
there's a little bit of there's some umbrellas in the chat. There's a little bit of shade. Getting carried
don't
by a
know.
sophomore.
Ooh. Be nice.
Ooh.
I think that's the coach. So, got a lot of talent celebs in the chat here. But that's
And that's funny too, because people sometimes they say esports, they're not really competitive. Oh, people, these guys are competitive.
If only
Coaches
there
are
was
too.
cams of the players and the reaction of what's going on, you would see the competition happening.
Yeah.
But that's
No doubt.
I've seen that before in other teams, right? If you lose, you gotta do push-ups or crunches equal to the the deficit. But a little post-game workout speed push-ups. Maybe that's something that's helping this Trojan team, take this one back.
In game 7, holy cats! That's awesome.
Looks like we got that glitch again. Where,
Yep, I was just about to say.
So what was it? It was
Trojans are up 3-2 games.
3-2. All right.
Yeah, so this is the potential. This is the game that the Trojans need to win. And Jonathan's going to start with a 21-second goal.
He's ready in the middle again. Messi knows, just get it there and he'll be ready.
Yeah, and Sky just off luster there as well. So yes, this is the game. Both these teams really need to win this one. Shrewsbury started off incredibly strong, but it looks like sometimes those early games are just how the other team reads you, and it's time for Shrewsbury to maybe change things up and think about a different tactic. The problem is both teams are so good that it's hard to change things up, as we got a boomer coming from all the way backfield. Jonathan up in the middle, seeing this nice pass over to Messi, and Messi is in the perfect spot to pick that one up.
Jonathan saw the pass earlier and says, "You know what? I'll do the same for you, bud."
Yeah, let's try that again.
It's right down mid-form. But we did see in the last series that the Trojans were in. The team that was down, they came back. So it's definitely possible, especially at this level of play. Shrewsbury still definitely has a chance.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
4 minutes left, 2 goals, definitely possible.
Yeah, it really doesn't mean a whole lot when you've got the abilities that we've seen. We saw 2 overtimes early on taken by Shrewsbury, so they know they can do it when the pressure's on, and we know they have the ability to put these goals up on the board. Sky over here with the nice deflection, keeping that ball out of the net for another one. As Messi and Jonathan are rotating back. At 1 second is coming in as well to rotate out, as Jonathan with the flip reset, just like you talked about earlier, carrying it on the wheels into the goal.
That was one of the cleanest flip resets I have ever seen.
Jeez.
Oh, the defense would have read that if he didn't catch it with the back end of his car.
Yep.
Yeah, so sorry everyone for the glitch. It is currently 3-2 games in the set, Trojans' favor. Messi comes around with the attempt, as at 1 second tries to get one in off of that cross not able to make it happen. Messi again with the drive off the ceiling, rolling down off the backboard comes Trevor to block this one out with a boomer coming from Sky, but Jonathan is there to stall that out. And now we've got Jonathan off the ceiling, off the wall, coming back down, rotating. He just can't read where he's going, but not able to make that one happen. Lester up in the air, off the back wall. That's a play that has worked so many times so well in the past. I bet they're wondering where Sky was, because that's what Sky wants.
Yep.
I'm noticing that they're playing a lot more defensive this game, the Shrewsbury here. You see a lot of time that the Trojans have on the defense. They have all the time to get it out. If they could start putting a lot of pressure on there, especially if they could get back to stealing their boost, I think that they could definitely turn this game around, no problem.
Nice pass. Just couldn't get up on top of it.
Yeah, and up by 3. We talked about that endurance that's coming in on these long games. Both these teams have already played a series today, a best of 7, and that wears on you for sure. The mental game, this is the best 8 teams in the nation right now in high school Rocket League esports, and they've been playing games all week. You can see that kind of surely coming into play for both of these teams. As we have 1 minute and 45 seconds left. At 1 second, takes a shot on goal. Sky blocks it with a half flip. Sky now on the drive, but blocked by Jonathan. But Trevor's going to pick that one up, send it off to the side wall. No one is there to challenge right now, able to squeeze by. Sending one off the backboard, up in the air comes Sky and Trevor, or Lester and Sky, and it looked like a miscommunication there on who was going for that ball. Not able to bring that one in. We've got this back on the Shrewsbury side, back on the Trojan side. At 1 second, going to carry this one up on the sidewall, letting it go to Lester as it falls down on the ground. Jonathan is there to challenge with Sky. Sky picks it up in the air. Going to try and fake this one over. Not able to make this one into the goal. So running out of boost, getting starved. Sky with a shot off at 1 second, and Jonathan both going up for the defense on that. And they are really just parking the bus now. With 3 goals up in 45 seconds, they just don't want anything to get by.
Yeah, you can see them starting to challenge everything that poses even the slightest threat. They're just trying to keep it on their end, keep it away from their end, keep every shot from being able to be taken. Heck, they're even going for passes just to try to solidify the lead.
So, a bouncer into Messi. Messi blocks that one, opens up an open goal for Jonathan as Shrewsbury was pulling the goalie style, everybody up, and that left the back wide open, and Jonathan capitalizes.
Yeah, at this point, you got to take those risks, I guess, right?
Yeah. If what you've been trying isn't working, might as well mix it up. But it doesn't always pay off.
It doesn't. So with just a few seconds left, the Trojans are up by 4. Trying to get this ball out of here, and then on the ground, there's the musty. And Jonathan cleans it up and puts it in the goal.
Yep.
I'm just excited to have seen the musty flip this series.
I still can't do them.
I mean,
I still can't do a musty.
Kind of sounds about somebody poaching somebody else's goal on that.
Oh, I'm sure. Goal
Their
stealing.
comms are not happy with goal steals right now, probably.
Yeah. So there you go. The score on the board is not correct, but due to a little bit of a glitch. But that is going to take your Trojans defeating Shrewsbury High School in this Elite 8 of PlayVS Cup. What a game! What a series!
Wow.
It's easy to tell why both of these teams made it this far.
Oh yeah.
But just watching North Catholic just hang in there and just stick to what they were doing, and then and reversing it, because Shrewsbury had to be very confident after those first 2 games. Like, yeah, we've got this. They're done, and they didn't.
So
impressive.
Well, and we in a lot of these games we talk about what year these players are. We talked a lot about how there's 2 seniors on North Catholic, right? So they are playing for everything right now. Shrewsbury's still a young team, 2 juniors, a sophomore. but the thing about this is they've been playing in the Rocket, Play versus Rocket League series since season 1. And if I understand this, they've won 5 state champion titles.
Yeah.
Like
Well, Trevor
Trevor.
has won 5 state titles. He's been playing since he's in the 6th grade.
Wow.
Yeah. But
So
at 1 second is going to Penn State next fall. Played for North Catholic, and then, but if you're Coach McKinstry, are you upset with the way you guys played? I wouldn't be.
no way.
Not at all. That was impressive play.
Yeah.
Regardless of the outcome. And I didn't check, but is Sky on console? Because it says that he played on the Xbox back in the beginning, but I don't know if he still plays on console. Because if he does play on console, he's insanely good. But if he was playing on PC, that would push him even that next step further.
Yeah, and that's scary because if he's doing that, he's an SSL doing that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then Lester was, his first year on the team. And 2 juniors and a sophomore. That's, I don't want to say, you guys have all the time in the world, but, when you get to a championship, win when you could win.
Yeah, and I mean these are the Massachusetts state champs. Best in the state. They are in the top 8 of the country, and we're talking about Shrewsbury, who, didn't take this game away, but is, by all rights, just as good as the Trojans. It was just some of those plays that just brought the Trojans out a little bit further ahead, even being down by 2 games in the series to start.
Right.
So just really, really well done from both of these teams. Going to be exciting to see if North Catholic just keeps this ride going. And obviously, big thanks to Griffins, who are not competing this game but have let us take over their stream
Check
for
the channel.
various Play versus Cup games. And big thanks to fellow casters Sir Loco and Greg P for being here.
Absolutely. I was excited all day once I found out I was going to get to do this. So it was great to be talking with you guys too throughout that game. That was just whew.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, and I learned so many things here.
We're just here to learn how to play Rocket League.
Yeah.
So
it's
thank
like a
you.
live tutorial.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Right.
I'm going to go try and play Rocket League right now and remember that I'm not SSL.
Yeah, it takes about
Be
seconds of any
more
game to
confident
learn that.
Well, also a big thanks to the chat and the viewers, and thanks for showing up. I'm sure that if we find out who's playing next, we might be here whenever that game is, so just stay tuned and check the channel. If you're in Play versus Chat, check CAC, and we'll see you when we see you.
See ya.